President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi directed on Tuesday to promote building capacities programs for the state administrative authorities' employees, starting with preparing training programs for supreme leaders and ending with training youth leaders, with the aim of developing human cadres' capabilities. During his meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Planning and Economic Development Hala Saeed on Tuesday, President al-Sisi also instructed to modernize employment files for all governmental workers to realize the most efficient usage of available human resources. In another meeting, President al-Sisi met with Madbouli and Minister of Housing and Urban Communities, Asim al-Ghazzar, to probe the latest projects being implemented by the ministry, including the new Damietta city.
During his meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Planning and Economic Development Hala Saeed on Tuesday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi instructed to modernize employment files for all governmental workers to realize the most efficient usage of available human resources. President al-Sisi directed to promote building capacities programs for workers at the state's administrative authority, starting with preparing training programs for supreme leaders and ending with training youth leaders with the aim of developing human cadres qualifications. Presidential spokesman Bassam Radi said the meeting followed up the current implementation status of ongoing projects and plans of the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. Minister Saeed reviewed the development of the economic indices in Egypt and the world since the emergence of the coronavirus pandemic, in addition to the economic situation around the globe in the coming stage. According to the minister, data showed a severe contraction of the world economic growth during 2020, taking into consideration that the tourism is one of the most hardly hit sectors at the world level, plus the decrease of direct foreign investments as well as world trade growth average. She said Egypt's economic procedures had resulted in achieving a positive growth in the fiscal year 2019-2020 of 3.6%, making Egypt one of the fewest countries at the world level that managed to achieve a real growth average in 2020 amid the repercussions of the pandemic, which reflects the government's success to deal with the crisis in a balanced and right way. This in addition to pumping more governmental investments that reached £102 billion in the first half of the 2019-2020 fiscal year. In this respect, President al-Sisi gave his directives to continue studies of the virus repercussions on the economic performance at the local and international levels to form expected future scenarios to guarantee better economic and monetary performance and face any obstacles that can hinder positive impacts being achieved thanks to the economic reform. The head of state discussed with the Prime Minister and the Minister details of the coronavirus crisis on many axes of the state, in addition to ongoing procedures by the government to diminish the negative impacts on the economy, especially the support of unorganized workers through establishing a database for them and supplying them with work opportunities in national projects. Radi said the meeting witnessed the review of the National Investment Bank investments activity and a current administrative development plan for the bank. During the meeting, President al-Sisi reviewed current efforts concerning the transfer of government's authority to the new administrative capital.
Foreign Minister Semih Shukri held talks with his Hungarian counterpart Peter Szijjártó in Cairo on Tuesday, during which they probed means to foster bilateral ties, notably in the economy, technology and education fields, in addition to a number of issues of mutual concern, including the Palestinian cause, means of combating terrorism and countering illegal immigration.
Foreign Minister Semih Shukri on Tuesday described ties between Egypt and Hungary as strong. Speaking at a joint press conference with the visiting Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó following their talks in Cairo, Shukri said both sides agreed on many issues, adding that Hungary understood to a great extent the challenges facing Egypt. The top diplomat said the Palestinian issue topped the agenda of the talks with the Hungarian Foreign Minister, as well as means of combating terrorism. Shukri noted quelling illegal immigration and organized crime were also discussed, affirming that Egypt's efforts in countering illegal immigration is valued by Hungary and Europe. According to Shukri, 2 deals were signed between the two sides over development cooperation and cooperation between the two countries in agricultural institutes. He said Hungary extended scholarships for Egyptian students. Minister Shukri also said providing railway carriages for Egypt periodically was discussed during the meeting. For his part, the Hungarian foreign minister said profound ties between Egypt and Hungary are based on mutual respect and refraining from intervention in internal affairs of others. He said big achievements are being witnessed at the economic level between the two nations, noting that the biggest project being with Egypt was in the field of developing Egyptian railways. In this respect, the Hungarian foreign minister said 1,300 railway carriages would be delivered to Egypt from Hungary, while 200 had been already received. He said projects in Egypt include giant water pumps in Sinai and renovating the Alexandria port levers. The minister mentioned technological cooperation with Egypt in peaceful nuclear applications. The Hungarian foreign minister said Egypt deserves all the support of the European Union, stressing that all obstacles should be removed in order to provide financial support for Cairo by the European Commission. He said liquefied gas is being purchased from Egypt, adding that there is a big opportunity for Egypt to export liquefied gas to many European countries.
Minister of Health Here Zaid and China's ambassador in Cairo, Liao Lijiang, held a joint press conference in Cairo on Tuesday over Chinese vaccines that arrived in Cairo in the early hours of the day. Minister Zaid said the targeted segments for inoculation would be expanded. For his part, the Chinese ambassador said a phone call was held on Monday between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping following the arrival of the vaccines. The ambassador expressed Beijing's full readiness to cooperate with Egypt in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. The health ministry earlier said the vaccine cargo contained 300,000 doses of the Chinese vaccine Sinopharm. The cargo was received by senior officials of the health ministry as well as China's ambassador to Egypt. On Monday, the health ministry reported 623 new COVID-19 infections and 51 deaths.